How is everyone doing today? I hope you all are having a lovely day. It has finally cooled off outside. I was joking with my wife last week. We might have to vacation down in the hill to cool off, but thankfully we got some cooler weather going on. Okay, so I want to thank Emma for the warm introduction and Mike and Shelby for the opportunity to speak before you today. My name is Fred Cutter. I'm a financial advisor, financial planner with Edward Jones. My practice is here in Fayetteville. Been here about 5 years now. Retired from the military, came to Fayetteville about 15, 16 years ago. Today's discussion is going to be a subject that we call the entrepreneurial equation. So before I dig into that, I want to go over a couple of housekeeping items first. We are in a social media generation. Most, if not all of us, have a social media footprint. Please like and follow my business page on Facebook. Just type in Fred Cutter Edward Jones. Like and follow. I post economic updates, topics of interest related to financial planning, the markets, and so forth. So please do take the time to do that. You should have received a green folder that looks like this. You do a real quick inventory on the items to make sure that you have everything needed for today. So on the left-hand side, you'll have a single note sheet with my smiling face down at the bottom. You're free to take notes there. And then on the right-hand side, there's going to be 4 additional pieces. One is my biography. Gives you a little bit of idea of who I am and where I come from. One's a referral form. So if you know someone who you feel is not able to attend today, who you feel may benefit from a follow-up on these particular topics, please feel free to make the introduction. I'd be happy to talk to them. We have a form here called SEP IRA versus Simple IRA. I try not to pack a handout for people who are self-employed and business owners on the retirement vehicles that are available. So we put this in here for your edification. And then the last piece is a smaller card called Tell Us About Yourself. Now, there's a sign-in sheet at the front. Please do sign in. It is a regulatory requirement that I scan this into our home office. I am not going to contact you off of the sign-in sheet. If you feel like you have topics you want to go over with me at another time, it's self-explanatory. At the end of the session, feel free to give it to myself or my dad. I dragged him out of retirement to help me with my practice on a part-time basis. Okay, so that concludes the sign-in sheet. Does everybody have everything? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I became a financial advisor because I have a passion for investing in the community and helping people just like you meet. I came here to present why Mike and Shelby reached out to ask me to speak today. I want to help you become educated on everything you need to know about your financial planning needs, both personally but especially as a business owner. Because running a business, being self-employed, it adds a whole nother dimension to that particular subject for you. So our seminar today is designed to help you, as a business owner, understand the tools available to help you build, grow, and preserve what enabling you to focus on doing what you love. We're going to do the slide here. I am my own slide man. Okay. So, as business owners, although your day-to-day activities probably differ, as they're specific to you and your business, you are going to have many things in common. You're going to have a lot of things in common. It's likely, and I know many of you, enough hours in a day to accomplish everything. You've got to manage your time. You've got to prioritize your tasks. You have your share of financial pressures. If you have employees or people who rely on you, they're going to come with their own set of challenges. And then there are, oh joy, the tax issues associated with owning a business. In addition to all of that, you're going to face challenges that are peculiar that are unique to you and what you're doing. Now, you have a vision for your business, or at least you should. Sometimes that vision can get clouded because many of you are challenged with having to wear so many hats. You are the human resource person. You're the manager. You're the marketer. You're the salesperson. And you're the general go-to person for problem solving, especially if it's just you, if you're self-employed. So you need to find an equation that will give you the best mix of operational, business, and personal financial excellence. So appropriately enough, we call this the entrepreneurial equation. So an important step in developing your own equation is to engage a team of professionals to help you deal with the wide range of daily business needs. That team should, if it does not already, it should consist of an accountant to deal with taxes, cash flow, payroll, and expenditures. You should have an attorney for your business structure, your succession, and estate planning. And you should have a financial advisor to help keep an eye on your personal and business goals and your investing needs. That way you can make sure you have the appropriate amount of insurance and protections in place to keep your goals on track. Now, financial advisors will need to be familiar with your business and personally coordinate the efforts of the team. Very often I quarterback the dialogue with my business clients, their CPAs, attorneys, and so forth. So we will orchestrate the decisions that are not only right for your situation, but also for your business, both near and long term. Now we're going to talk about how this team will develop the equation that will help keep you on the path toward achieving your. Now this approach has 5 steps. There are 5 steps to this process. It's also part of my onboarding process for clients in general. So to have a clear outlook of your future, we're first going to evaluate where you're at today. I like to add a little sub-component to that. Where are you coming from? And how did you get to where you are today? And not just financially, but what are your personal values? What kind of life have you lived up to this point? Because this is a very human thing. Understand who you are and why you are who you are, the better I'll be able to assist you going forward. Then we're going to talk about where you want to go. What do your goals look like? And why do you have them? So it is not enough for you to tell me that you want to retire at, say, 65 years old. What does that look like for you? Do you want to travel? Do you want to work part-time? Do you want to do missionary work? Again, they may not have anything to do with the financial equation. So once your goals are determined, we're going to ensure that they're realistic. Are you going to be able to achieve those goals? That also is the point at which I make a decision on whether or not you are someone whom I can assist, if you have realistic expectations about what we do. And then in step 4 there, we're going to talk about the courses of action that are most appropriate for you to achieve those goals. At that point, that's where I show you, based on what you got going on, these are the things we need to do to get you to that goal. And then the 5th step there is staying on track. Now, I'm retired military. There's a joke in the Army that you never give an officer a compass and a map. But I was previously enlisted, so that joke with me fell on deaf ears. It is a requirement now in this industry that we do at least an annual review on your accounts. The days are pretty much gone where I can have 5,000 people in my project. We have to stay in touch. I got to make sure that the strategy that we put together for you remains relevant. And if something changes in your life, in your personal or business life, we need to be one of the first people you call so that we can assess if there needs to be any change to your strategy. So the strategy, though, is going to be specific to you, who you are and what you have going on. Now, thinking through these 5 steps is a great way to start addressing all of the issues and concerns that you have now, so that you'll be prepared no matter what happens. All right. So regardless of the type of business you own, you likely have goals in 3 key areas. This is pretty much standard regardless of what you do for work, regardless of what you do for a living. So the first is you're going to want to build and develop your business. You're going to want to create value outside of your business. And then lastly, you're going to want to preserve it so that you can pass it on to your successors, maybe your heirs, your children, family, or sell it to a subsequent owner. When you're building your business, some simple banking services to help with cash flow management may be beneficial, especially when they pertain to time management. Let's go to the next slide. So for example, I understand most of you are self-employed in real estate, but some of you may have some payroll. Do you need help managing payroll? You may also consider business credit cards for key employees who entertain or travel often for business development purposes. These cards are a great way to track spending automatically. If you need additional liquidity or immediate cash flow, you may think about securing an individual loan or even a margin loan on your investment accounts. This is where the investments in your brokerage account are used to secure a credit line. There's no credit check, funds are available immediately. In fact, automated banking services are available now such as a busy schedule so that you can do what you do best, which is running your business. So to grow, many of you will have to attract and retain key employees. This means offering the right benefits package and considering a quality retirement plan. These are the types of benefits potential employees are looking for. Is there an integral person in your business who can make or break? That's going to be a chef. Hopefully the tap house is listening. You have a project manager, a sales manager, a person whose absence could completely change your business. So as you build a solid business, you should ask yourself these types of questions. It's just good practice to protect yourself against Murphy's Law. And one of my roles as an advisor with many of my business clients is to ask these questions for you and help you find the answers. So next we're going to talk about creating value outside of your business. How many of you, by a show of hands, would consider the business you're in now to be your retirement plan? Come on, show the hands. So in addition to running a successful business, you also need to provide for yourself and your family over the long term. Retirement plan can help you build your business by helping to attract and retain key employees. It will also help create value for yourself outside of your business. Look at it this way. In addition to your role as the owner, you are also an investor. It just makes good sense to diversify your assets and retirement income so you don't put your entire retirement nest egg in your business. Saving outside the business means you control your retirement rather than depending upon the sale of the business to fund your retirement needs. There is no crystal ball that can tell you what it might be worth when you are ready to retire. In one scenario, it may be only worth the equipment you have on hand, vehicles, property, real estate, building and inventory. That may not be enough to support your lifestyle in retirement. And frequently when a business is sold, The owner must finance part of the sale. The right retirement plan may enable you to benefit from several tax incentives. How many of you love paying taxes? I better not see any hands. Including tax credits for your business, tax deductions for making contributions to a retirement plan, pre-tax salary deferrals, tax-deferred growth on balances inside the plan, and potential tax-free retirement income with Roth IRA platforms. So your advisor, your financial advisor, will work with your tax advisor to help you decide which plan is best from a tax perspective. That is obviously not a 5-minute conversation, something that we would want to make a mistake on. So retirement planning considerations. When you start thinking about the retirement strategy that's right for you, it's good to start by considering these 4 questions here. First, what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? A properly structured plan considers how much you can contribute for yourself. Generally, the younger you are, the less it is the same objective as someone who's older than you. Second, if you have employees, they will have goals too. You want to contribute to a plan on their behalf. Third, are you willing to give more to your employees if you can maximize your own contribution? And finally, some plans allow you to contribute more for yourself than you are required to contribute for employees. These plans may have higher costs and regularly save far more to help you meet your goals and help you save far more money in taxes as well. But it's important to understand the costs associated with your plan. Now, kind of as an aside to that, if you look on my business card, you'll see letters there. One of them is CRPS, Chartered Retirement Plan Specialist. That is actually a subset of my practice. It's a postgraduate program on the regulation and architecture of business retirement plans, such as 401ks and SEPs and simples. So that is an intro. So with those things in mind, let's look at a couple of options. So the first, you have no employees, which I would imagine applies to most people here. If you have no employees, aside from yourself, the 3 main plans that we would usually look at are a simplified employee pension plan, call that a SEP IRA, and an owner-only 401k. These plans differ primarily on the amount that you can contribute for yourself. So let's first take a look at a SEP IRA, the one there on the left. You may consider a SEP if you're looking for an easy, inexpensive plan with flexible contributions. Whether you have no employees, have some, or plan to hire, a SEP may be suitable because administratively it's the easiest to work with. Now, of course, there's no limits to the number of employees you can have, but a SEP plan is primarily appropriate for business owners with no employees or they have very few. This says up to 10. Personally, I would say maybe 2 or 3 at the high end. If you have employees, you must be willing to contribute on behalf of all employees eligible to participate in the plan at approximately the same level of contribution. So the reason why we stop looking at this, the more employees you have, is because whatever you do for yourself as a percentage of your compensation, if you're deferring 20% of your compensation in a SEP, you have to do that for all of your employees. That's generally why we exclude that once you get over a handful of employees, because it gets cost prohibitive real quick. Another option is an only owner 401k. Now, an only owner 401k allows higher contribution limits than a SEP, including the ability to do catch-up contributions if you're over the age of 50 and older. An owner-only 401k is basically a simplified 401k plan for a business with no employees other than the owner and his or her spouse. Lastly, if you'd like to contribute more for your retirement than allowed with a SEP or an only owner or a 1K plan, a defined benefit plan is going to be what we look at. That generally works best if you're over the age of 45, earn a substantial income, generally at least $100,000, and can contribute for at least 3 years. These plans allow you the highest contribution levels, often more than $100,000 a year, tax deferred. Now, let's take a look at your retirement plan options if you do have employees. Plans that use salary deferrals are the most popular for businesses that have employees. I'm sure all of you are familiar with. With a salary deferral plan, the employee contributes on his or her own behalf. Oh, hold on a second here. This is, okay, I want to make sure we're on the right slide. These plans also offer the opportunity for you to make business contributions on behalf of your employees. There are 3 retirement plans you should consider depending upon how you wish to contribute and how many employees you have. So the first is a simple IRA. Then you have a traditional 401k plan, including what we call a safe harbor plan. And then the third are custom plans, where we literally build it from the ground up. A simple IRA. Simple stands for Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees. It's a good option because it allows you and key employees to defer contributions, even if other employees choose not to contribute to the plan. The business must either make a small contribution to the employees or commit to matching contribution to receive the benefit. A traditional 401k allows employees to contribute to the plan on a pre-tax basis, which of course reduces their taxable income. The plan may also allow for Roth deferrals, which are contributed on an after-tax basis, but they have the potential for tax-free growth. Keep in mind that with a traditional 401k plan, the amount the owners account by how much all other employees can contribute. Low deferrals by employees mean low deferrals for business owners and what we call highly compensated employees. Now, a safe harbor 401k works in much the same way as a traditional 401k, with one significant difference. Owners and highly compensated employees can contribute the maximum deferral no matter how much everyone else defers. However, employee contribution matches are required. In this way, it works much like a simple IRA. However, with the safe harbor 401k, it allows you to defer more money. There's lower contribution limits on a simple. Custom plans are specifically designed plans working together like a 401k with a profit sharing component and or a defined benefit plan. These plans will allow the maximum possible contributions for owners and select employees, often without success. The benefits of these plans is primarily to the owners and the key employees, if desired, and that can far outweigh the additional work that has to go into building it. Proper plan design is driven by how much you want to contribute for yourself and how much you wish to contribute for your employees. Other considerations for proper plan design may include plan fees, expenses, and the time to administer it, to name a few. Discuss them with your financial advisor and your tax planner. We will help you make an informed decision based on what you are trying to accomplish. So we've covered a lot of ground so far, and we still have quite a few slides. If you have questions on what we've talked about to this point. No questions. All right, so moving right along. Okay, so the next area we're going to discuss is insurance. So we're going to shift gears and talk about how you will protect the business you've worked so hard to build and create value at the same time. One of the key protection strategies for your business and personal lives is insurance. We actually have an insurance agent with us today, a good friend of mine named Sonny. So he can obviously speak on this as well. So if the unexpected were to happen, insurance will help protect your business and personal interests, such as taking care of outstanding obligations, providing for your children's education, or paying off outstanding debts and final expenses. We also use insurance plans to help you save more than what would ordinarily be allowed for retirement. This is called a life insurance retirement plan. It's called a LIRP, which I'll explain in more detail in a few moments. So we're going to use a scenario with a story using a woman named Sue. And this is going to hit home for some of you. A very successful flower shop called Flowers in Bloom. She works with a wide variety of clients and provides a number of floral services. But over the years, her niche market has become weddings. One of the biggest reasons why so many people choose to work with Forever in Bloom to handle their special events is that for 8 years, a young lady named Jenny has been Sue's chief floral designer. So assistants, Jenny has designed floral masterpieces for thousands of events, from extravagant weddings to small and simple affairs. Without Jenny's expertise, Sue might be in a very different situation with a very different business outcome. So how can Sue protect the business that she has worked so hard to build? So we'll take a closer look at a few ways that things might unfold for Sue and Jenny. One day, while working around her house, Jenny falls off a ladder and breaks her back. Though her surgery is successful, the rehab and recovery time are longer than expected, and she is out of work for 6 months. After that, she is able to return for only a few hours each day. So Sue will have to depend on Jenny's team of talented assistants to create beautiful floral arrangements for the next year. Unfortunately, Sue can't do anything about the fact that some clients will leave because their relationship and dependence is with Jenny. If Sue had taken out key person disability insurance on Jenny, she would have been financially protected because she would have been able to maintain an income similar to what she experienced when Jenny was working. So even though Jenny was the one who suffered the disability, Sue was the one receiving the income. The lost revenue of insurance would have allowed Sue the time she needed to let Jenny heal without losing countless dollars in the process. Now, what if Jenny had instead died as a result of her injury? Again, Sue's business would likely be in very, very big trouble. Not if she had taken out what we call key person life insurance on Jenny. In that case, Sue would have been protected because it can provide money to help with the loss of income until Jenny can be replaced as an employee. Let's look at another scenario. Let's say nothing had happened to Jenny. Her client list keeps growing at Flowers in Bloom, and therefore Sue's business continues to grow year after year. A competitor across town runs into Jenny at a local conference and offers her a job worth more money than what Sue is currently paying her. We've already seen what happens to Sue's business if Jenny were to be injured or pass away. What can Sue do to protect herself in this scenario? Sue could offer Jenny what we call deferred compensation. Deferred compensation is an agreement that can retain key employees by paying them a predetermined amount once certain milestones are reached. The funds to pay the deferred compensation are usually held within an insurance policy. In this situation, Sue can create a future benefit for Jeannie. The amount would need to be substantial enough to make it difficult for Jenny to switch to a competitor merely for a higher salary. Now let's look at a different scenario. Joe and Rick are business partners who started A1 Trucking, a regional trucking company, about 10 years ago. Since then, A1 Trucking has gone national. They move goods across the country for some of the largest Fortune 500 companies in the country. Last week, Joe had a heart attack and passed away, leaving Rick with two possible new business partners, either Joe's wife or one of his children, none of whom have ever had any part in the business. The transition after Joe's death would have been much different if Joe and Rick had set up what we call a buy-sell agreement through their corporate attorney. A buy-sell agreement establishes a plan for the remaining at an agreed-upon price from the family of the deceased partner. Frequently, these agreements are funded with life insurance policies. All or a significant part of the purchase price would come from the insurance proceeds. In this case, the value of the business would be preserved for the remaining partner. Rick's purchase after Joe's death would also provide liquidity for Joe's surviving spouse and family. What if, instead, Joe had major bypass surgery and, after a change in lifestyle and months of rehab, returned to work? Disability insurance would help him replace his income and help protect Joe's family from experiencing financial hardship during his illness and recuperation. We got one more story. This one about a gentleman named Jim. Jim is an extremely successful accountant who is, but only one works for him at the firm. Because of the success and his ability to invest more than his retirement plan would allow, Jim chose to invest in what we call a LIRP, a life insurance retirement plan. So a LIRP is a life insurance policy that is designed for retirement savings, well suited for Jim because of his high income, which excludes him from being able to contribute to a Roth IRA. LIRPs have special tax advantages as well. Because it is actually a life insurance policy, Jim takes money out of it in retirement tax-free. A LIRP also provides long-term accumulation for supplemental retirement income. And because it's an insurance policy, when Jim dies, it will provide for his dependents as well. These types of policies are very common with Fortune 500 executives, people who are very, very highly compensated. It's essentially a supercharged Roth IRA. Oversimplistically is what that is. Now Jim needs to figure out what he'd like to do with his accounting firm once he has finished working. That goes into estate planning. This slide's here. First, Jim needs to make sure there are enough liquid assets to pay for his final expenses, including taxes. Otherwise, his heirs could be forced to liquidate his business. Works with him. If Jim chooses to leave the business to his son, he may want to make some sort of equal offer to his other children. This is called estate equalization. Depending upon the situation, Jim can use life insurance to make sure all three sons receive an amount that makes sense for the entire family. A great way to look at your business is to start with the 5-step strategy we touched on earlier, but then tailor it, specific to your situation. So ask yourself, what are my goals? Then follow that with, what could stop me from achieving them? And how can I protect against all of that while continuing to gain every opportunity from my business? Now, as a business owner, you have many tools at your disposal to help you achieve those goals and to help keep them from being derailed. Now we're going to go into our summary. So before I wrap this up and start taking your questions, we're going to do a quick review. There is no one right answer to how to build, grow, and preserve a successful business. Your own equation will be based on your needs and goals. As your business grows and evolves, so will your needs as a business owner. Depending upon the type and size of your business, the tools available to you will stay the same, but your able will evolve. A strong professional team will listen to your needs so that together they can help you choose the tools that will help you operate efficiently today and going forward. So the right equation will help you save time, attract and retain key employees, and preserve what you've worked so hard to grow so that your heirs can benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say from experience that most business owners, when they come to me for an initial discussion, have done this work already. The reality is probably less than 5% of the business owners that I have met with when I first onboarded them as clients had a comprehensive plan in place. 5%. Because we're not taught to think about these things. So unless you have someone that can assist you, that helps you ask these questions and find solutions, you're just not going to know. So I know we covered a lot of topics today. What are your questions? Make me work. I'll be standing by. I want to thank you all for coming out. Please fill out the cards. I'll reach out to you if you have questions for follow-up. And I hope you all have a blessed day.
I think we'll be running